probably a great godsend to humanity, to and also to not just to humanity, but to the animals we share this earth with, the other forms of life. Um, and it's going to mean, what this will mean is like that a lot of people who have held the belief in free will, you know, within traditions that have held it for a couple of millennia, will be challenged. It's kind of like a challenge on the scale of creationism versus evolution. You know, so many of us, I guess, still believe that there was like an Adam and Eve, and like that Eve was taken from the rib of Adam. Scientifically, we don't believe that anymore, but many people who once believed that understand the the overwhelming evidence against such a creation story, and in favor of evolution. And so this is a change on a scale with that, but even much more profound, because again, it's like it's at the heart of who we are. It's the heart. Basically, it's like a choice between seeing ourselves as gods, which we're not, as gods able to like choose to think whatever we want at any time, or from the more humbling perspective that we are subjects. We're kind of like pawns on a chessboard, that we're doing the will of God or the causal past. That's huge. That's huge as our guiding philosophy. We're going from one guiding philosophy of that was mistaken, this illusion of free will, to a guiding philosophy of understanding that everything is a movie, everything is causal, everything is cause and effect, that we're just playing out roles, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Now again, as we go through these, as we go through these shows, we're going to get into this in a lot of detail. We're going to bring physics into this. We're going to bring neurobiology into this. We're going to bring psychology into this. We're going to bring sociology into this. We're going to bring anthropology into this. There are so many ways to understand why free will is impossible, and why both our reality and our will, our human will, must be causal, and we'll go through them. But just for this episode, I thought it'd be cool to just like to contemplate what this means to us. What this means to us as a humanity, as a civilization. I can't think of a question like this that has consumed humanity in the past. I mean, there was the Scopes monkey trial some decades ago where it was about creation versus evolution, and that I think caught the national press for a while. But years after, it just wasn't talked about anymore. This is something that sooner or later, I would imagine, will capture the global consciousness as one of the fundamental questions and issues of our time. I'm not going to be disingenuous by saying that it's a valid question, because the evidence against free will is so compelling, so all-encompassing, that it would be disingenuous to say that it's going to be a debate without a real answer. In other words, basically, if the world was debating between whether 2 and 2 equals 4 or 2 and 2 equals 5, it's not really much of a debate, right? So that's what we're heading into now. But to a lot of people, to a lot of us, it will be a revelation, and it's incumbent upon those of us who understand the nature of our causal will to help those of us who don't understand to understand it better. It's incumbent upon us to kind of like mitigate the kinds of fears people might have, or to just like somehow address people's misgivings about giving up their godlike power, their presumed godlike power to believe what they want and think what they want and feel what they want. And so yeah, that should like evoke our great understanding. It's going to be cool. I'm getting tired. This is like, yeah, I decided to do 4 shows pretty much back to back. But and of course we got into why in real time we don't have free wills, and this is a perfect example. If I had a free will, hey, I wouldn't be tired from this. My brain cells would be just as as strong now as they were a couple hours ago, whatever. But anyway, back to the topic. Criminal justice. This is extremely important. Anyone who has ever been imprisoned or who is imprisoned now is really being punished wrongly. I mean, let's say if somebody forced you to do something, and I mean absolutely forced you, you had no choice in the matter, and then you had to do it, then is it right? Is it morally right? Is it just for you to be punished for this thing that you absolutely had no choice but to do? Our jails and prisons are filled with people who are suffering that fate. And again, it's not our fault because we don't have free will to have to have overcome the illusion of free will and treated them more compassionately in the past. But it's something we have to recognize. Okay? Now, some people immediately will say, well, are you suggesting we give up laws and our rule of order and all? And no, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that, like, how would you like to be in a position where you're in jail or prison being punished for something you absolutely had to do, were completely compelled to do? That's just like, it's a reality we're going to have to face. And so what's the answer? Okay, naturally part of it is that civilization, humanity, society has to be protected from ourselves and each other. If somebody's going around just like doing things that are hurtful to themselves or other people, certainly we need to take steps to counteract that, to prevent that. The greatest good for the greatest number, that's what we cherish. That's what we value. So we'll continue to do that, but like when somebody does something wrong, well, let me preface this. By understanding that we don't have a free will and a causal will, we can catch those people who would turn to crime in their later years as adults when they're very young and condition them to not go that route. But now we have a lot of people in jail and prison, for something that they had no choice but to do. This transcending the delusion of free will is about how we're going to treat them, because it seems quite wrong to punish them. There is the issue of punishment as that punishment will prevent other people from committing crimes. I mean, it's a deterrent. It's a deterrent, but now my feeling on this, my guess is that as we understand that our wills are causal and not free, we will perhaps separate, those of us who need to be separated for whatever reason, for the sake of themselves and the rest of us. But we'll do it without the sense of retribution. We'll do it without the sense of judgment. Okay, 200 years ago in the United States, our criminal justice system was about penitence. That's why they were called penitentiaries. long shot, and reformatories. It's about reform. It's about taking, a person and showing the error of their ways, but not through punishment so much, through correction, through humane correction. But we've gone from that kind of criminal justice system to a system that punishes. It's retributive. It's like just desserts. They did something evil, makes them evil, so like we're just in punishing them, and that is like so wrong. So that, and once, God willing, once we are able to reform our criminal justice system, those of us who would resort to crimes that hurt us and hurt society would probably be much less likely to do that. Because, like, again, criminals a lot of times do their crimes because they attribute free will to another person. They say, well, this person freely hurt me, so I'm going to hurt him back, or, whatever it is. Okay, we're winding down here, and I've chosen to focus on the criminal justice system toward the end because I think that's the area of civilization of our society that I think this point might relate to, this idea that we have causal wills might relate to most directly from a moralistic perspective, from a perspective of like, alleviating unnecessary suffering. But the reality is that, this awakening to the reality that our world and our will, our human will, is causal, is revolutionary. We will create a brand new world, and I haven't thought it. I don't know how long it might take, and to be completely honest, I don't know if it will happen, because, like, if we don't have free wills, we don't know whether the causal past will lead us to understand that it is really responsible for everything. But it seems, from all the evidence, from our education, from our development as a species, becoming more intellectual, more intelligent, more evolved, it seems that is clearly the way we're going. That we're going into an era where we will understand this, and it'll be amazing. I mean, just they talk about the dumbing down of America, how somehow we've gotten stupid and stuff. This is the kind of issue, this is the kind of topic, the kind of question that will reawaken our intellect, and God willing, it will help us all. Okay, that's all we have time for. Thanks for watching. Well, no, we've got another 11 minutes. Hold on. All right, so anyway, we're going to explore this in a lot of detail, in a lot of ways, and we'll see you then.